Well, ladies and gentlemen, next I'm going to introduce you to the fractions puzzle. The title, 0 is smaller than I am, and I am smaller than 1. That means that I am a fraction. Now, the problem that this solves, you know, children learn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. And 5 is obviously larger than 1. But now, all of a sudden, a fifth, where there's a 5 involved, is smaller than 1. I mean, really, can these adults not make up their minds? It just causes confusion for the child. Okay, now what this puzzle has is a 1 at the top, of course, the whole, and comparing to that all the different fractions, a half, a quarter, a third, sixes, and so on. And for example, 6 sixes compared to the 1. And it explains to a child that if he has one big apple and he divides it between himself and 3 friends, then of course each of them is going to get a smaller piece than if he had the whole apple to eat by himself. And the same goes if he shares it with 2 more friends, then each of them get a third. 1 divided by 3. 1 divided by 4, etc. Now, what else it has, which is very important, is, and I'm going to put the puzzle down in order for you to see the calculations. As I said, on the back of each piece is the decimal of that particular fraction. For example, on the back of the half is 0.5, on the back of a quarter is 0.25, on the back of a 6 is 0.16, etc. The same goes for all the fractions. Okay, let me put them back so I can show you 1 or 2 examples of how to use this puzzle. You know, very important is for children to see something physical, and then only can he carry on to understand the abstract. He's got to start with something familiar that he knows already, and from there progress to the thing that the adult wants to teach him, to the unfamiliar, to whatever he's about to learn. Now the same goes for here. On the back, let's say he gets a calculation at school where he has to which says a half take away a quarter, and he has to find the value, the answer as to a half take away a quarter. So what is he supposed to do? Okay, well, the more he plays with it, the more he picks up ideas and plans, of course enabled by his parent or his teacher. First of all, he needs to try and find a puzzle piece that will fill that area. Okay, it looks like a third is going to fill it up. Let's see. No, that is too large. It doesn't fit. It's more than the answer that he needs. Let's say he tries a 6, because that's a bit smaller. Let's see. No, that is too small. It's not large enough. It cannot be the answer. All right, what should we try next? Let's try a 5th. Let's see. That's going to work. No, it is also too small. There's still a gap there. So he's got to find a puzzle piece that is going to fill up that entire area. Let's say eventually he decides to try the quarter. And voila! He's a little genius because he found his answer. Half take away a quarter is a quarter. And at the same time, a half plus a half makes up 4 quarters. And 4 quarters makes up a whole. You can put it any side. Okay, so let's say he gets a problem involving decimals. Let's put that back and that back. Let's say his problem that he's got to work out is 0.25, and he has to take away from there 0.125. Now, you know, if you were like me when I was a child, when I looked at that, it seriously looked more like Greek than anything else. Until the child starts to play with this puzzle and he finds a piece that fits. Let's say, okay, he thinks maybe 6 is going to fit 0.16. No, that's too large. It doesn't work. And eventually he keeps trying and keeps trying and keeps trying. And eventually he decides to try another 1/8. Another 0.125. And there we go. He's found his answer. Other way put, 1/8 plus 1/8 makes up 1/4. And ladies and gentlemen, the more he plays with it, the more you will be associating maths and fractions with fun and games. And as I said previously, when his classmates start to say, but the fractions are so difficult, he thinks to himself, but what are they talking about? It's like playing with a puzzle. It's easy. It's not a problem. It's nice and it's easy to understand. So there is one more puzzle in the present series of maths. So ladies and gentlemen, please keep watching.